Today is a great day, and the morning jackpot is live. Hell of an intro. My goodness, we have some news. Well, it's not really like news. I feel like everybody's heard about it, but Dan Hurley has chosen to stay with the Yukon Huskies. He declined the Lakers job, and was it the right decision? That's the question everybody is asking. And to me, I mean, I was very pro this idea that, sure, you're a dominant college basketball coach. You've won 2 national championships in back-to-back years. You kind of seem like you're the only program in college basketball right now that truly has it figured out. And yet, the Lakers tried to give him only $70 million for 6 years. And that would have been about the 5th or 6th highest paid coaching job in the NBA. That wasn't going to cut it. And it probably was leverage to get a bigger contract at UConn. I was pro a college basketball coach saying, you know what? I've done enough at the college basketball level. How much more can I truly do? It's time to go to the big leagues. That's what I was pro for. That's why I said Dan Hurley, if I'm Dan Hurley, I take the Lakers coaching job. You dream if you want to be a coach in life, you dream of being an NBA head coach. And not only an NBA head coach, you dream of being the Lakers head coach. You dream of being the Celtics head coach. Those are two of the greatest, most publicized jobs you could ever have. Not because they're going to be a long-term gig, not because Dan Hurley knows he's going to be the Lakers head coach for the next 15 years. It's because you get that opportunity. You get the opportunity of a lifetime to say, all right, I'm going to go to the Lakers. If they cut me, if they throw me away, if LeBron gets me out of there within 2 years, so be it. But at least I gave it a shot, and I was almost the next Phil Jackson. So I would have gone to the Lakers if I was Dan Hurley, but the Lakers did not offer him near enough money. Near enough. You got to offer him $100 million. What are we doing? Am I the only one that sees that contract that the Lakers offered him and say, were they truly trying to get Dan Hurley? Were they truly trying? Or was this just a whole lot of nothing? Is JJ Redick the guy? Has he always been the guy? Was this all just a way of a distraction from this idea that LeBron is involved in getting JJ Redick as the head coach? I don't know. There are so many questions out there with the Lakers right now. But we're in the NBA Finals. Why are we talking about the Lakers? I am a Celtics fan, and I'm in the middle of an NBA Finals, and I open up the show talking about the Lakers. What is wrong with me? But anyways, shout out everybody in the chat. We're going to be talking about Game 3, exactly what's going to go down, what I expect in Game 3. That's on Wednesday. But we're going to talk about it all show today. If y'all are new here, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notifications. And more importantly, the show is sponsored by SoBet. So make sure you go download the SoBet app. Make sure you go sign up for SoBet. It's a website. It's an app. Whatever you want to do it on, just go sign up for SoBet using code JACKPOT. And the reason is simple. If you want to win betting on sports, if you want to become a smart, talented, gifted, knowledgeable sports bettor, then sign up for SoBet and learn from the best. They're giving you picks every single day, and it's a beautiful thing. We got Adam in the chat. Do you think the Celtics will lose one? You know, if they're going to lose a game, it probably is Game 3. But not on Tatum's watch. Do you realize that Game 3 is what everyone says? You know, when everyone's always like, Game 6 Clay or Game 7 Jimmy, Game 3 Tatum. Okay, maybe it's not as cool. Maybe it's a Game 3. But I think there's something to say about a superstar that understands how to win. And people aren't appreciating that Jason Tatum has accepted this idea that it's all about winning. It takes a very long time for a superstar to get to that point of like, we know we got the team. I know I got to sacrifice. It ain't about me anymore. It's about winning. And I know I can contribute. I know I can be of value in a lot of different ways. And if I don't play well, then we might not have a good chance of winning. But there is a certain sacrifice that a superstar has to take. An ego has to be lowered. An ego has to be put to the side in order to win a championship. And when you look at Jason Tatum and what he has done just in this playoffs, we don't need you to go for 50 at home. The role players step up at home. Jaylen Brown steps up at home. Kristaps Porzingis takes 38 days off and then comes back in a game one with the crowd behind him, and he goes for 20. We need Jason Tatum to show up on the road. We need Jason Tatum to show up in game 3. That's his game. So maybe Dallas wins game 3. Maybe Dallas plays better than they played on the road. That'd be a fair analysis. But respectfully, if I had to put my money where my mouth was at, I would throw it all on Jason Tatum's over in game 3. You want to talk about sports betting? Jason Tatum over. On points, on rebounds, whatever the case may be, throw it all on Jason Tatum because it's game 3 Tatum. We got a chat. Do you think Luka is still a threat in game 3, or will he go down? I think Dallas is going to come out with their biggest punch. I thought game 2 would be a big Dallas game. I felt like Boston just had to weather the storm in game 2 because we took care of business in game 1. We knew Dallas was going to come into game 2, have a better approach, and probably come out a little hotter, a little faster in game 2. Tatum in his presser, he basically said, yeah, that's exactly what they did in terms of game 1 to game 2 adjustments. You could tell the pace of the Mavericks was different in game 2. But what happened in game 2? Well, the Celtics won, but they also weathered the storm. They said, all right, the Mavericks are going to come out hot. The Mavericks are going to throw us a punch. And Boston didn't even shoot the basketball well, and they played great team defense and won the game. They bothered Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic so much so that Dallas had no chance. Kyrie has been a non-factor. But I want to talk about this. I feel like Kyrie's getting a lot of hate right now. Kyrie's getting a lot of this, like, he's not showing up. Luka needs help. A week and a half ago, everyone was saying that this is the greatest backcourt duo in the history of basketball. And now you play the Celtics and Kyrie sucks. How is that the opinion? When you make a take, when you say something, stand on it, stick on it. I understand Kyrie Irving's not playing great right now. Maybe that's because the Celtics game planned for him. Maybe that's because the Celtics have a really good defense. Maybe that's because the Celtics said, you know what? We'll let Luka beat us. We're not going to let Kyrie beat us. I get it. Kyrie got to play a little better. But at some point, can we just understand that it's not always a negative? It's not always Kyrie's not showing up. And sometimes it's the Celtics are just good. They just play good defense. Brown's locking them up. Drew's locking them up. D. White's throwing at him. Why is it that why do we have to bring Kyrie down? I'm not going to be the person that says Kyrie Irving needs to play better. Everyone's saying the reason why Dallas is down 2-0 is because of Kyrie Irving. No, it's not. You really think that Dallas is down 0-2 because Kyrie hasn't played well? Why is that the reason? It's not. The reason is Boston's playing well. Tatum's passing well. Brown's finishing well. Kristaps is hitting shots. D. White and Drew Holiday are playing some of the best basketball they've played in their entire life. That's why we're up 2-0. not because Kyrie's not playing well. Maybe it's a factor. Maybe it's, oh, because Kyrie Irving isn't playing well, we've taken advantage of. Sure, but that's not the reason. Let's see what we got in the chat here. The most surprising thing to me, honestly, so far, Jack, is how well Al Horford has been switching and guarding Luka. I don't think the Mavericks thought that was going to go. How's it going? Listen, Tyler, I'm fully with you on this. Heading into this series, my biggest question mark was, all right, if Kristaps is coming back from injury, how's he going to be defensively? He kind of showed he was pretty locked in, right? But then it was, is Al Horford going to be a liability? No. Al has been the veteran presence we've needed. You can't say a bad thing about Al Horford. He is the tried and true of Boston in many ways. I mean, veteran presence, but more so, what are we talking about right now? We talk about the switch. We talk about the screen. When Luka gets the screen, when Kyrie gets the screen, they're trying to get Al Horford on to Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving. And from what I've watched, when I was watching those pregame show highlights, when I was watching all the film of the Mavericks versus the Celtics leading up to this NBA Finals, I would see Al Horford getting switched on to Luka and Kyrie at all times. And I told myself, if that happens, that it can't happen. We can't allow for Al Horford to get onto Luka or Kyrie. And I feel like in this series, maybe it's happened a couple of times, but for the most part, they haven't really allowed it to happen, Boston. They've done a good job of hedging the screens, pushing them out, which is what I told you guys they needed to do. When Luka gets the screen, just bump him a little bit, jar him, get him rattled a little bit, and allow for Jaylen Brown or Tatum or Drew or D. White, whoever's guarding Luka at the time, to get back onto Luka. Al Horford has done a great job. I give all my props to Al for just being a old head and playing his role. That's all you can ask for sometimes. Just do what you're asked. Play your role. And Al has done so well. There are moments when Al Horford takes a three-pointer and I'm like, all right, Al, what are we doing? Relax. But you know what? Al Horford deserves that. Al Horford deserves to take as many threes as he wants. Fine. Got another chat here. Appreciate everybody for leaving chats today. Chat, quick question. Is it important for Tatum to score to win series? Yes. I think at a certain point, Tatum has to have a game where he goes for 40. As a matter of fact, I know he's going to. He's going to have a game. There's going to be one game, maybe it's 2, 3, whatever it is. He's going to get out of this slump. He's going to snap out of this shooting woes, struggles, whatever you want to call it. If the Celtics want to win this series, I believe that Tatum has to have one of those games. Now, if Tatum never turns it on, if he struggles all series, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the media is really allowing themselves to feed into the moment of Tatum struggling, but the Celtics are still winning because they have to and they want to. And this is exactly what the media has been trying to, push up all year long, is this idea that Boston is just really good. It ain't just Tatum. Fine. It's a team sport. But our most valuable player is Jason Tatum. And when he scores 30 to 40 points, we don't lose. We're unbeatable. So, yeah, game 3, game 4, he's really good on the road. That's all I'm going to say. If I had to guess when it would come, game 3. I don't know if we win the series if Tatum continues to struggle shooting the basketball. But I just listened to Chris Broussard basically say, what are your thoughts on Jason Tatum during these playoffs and more so just these NBA finals? What have you taken Have you looked at Tatum and said, all right, he's not as good as I thought he was, or you gain a little more respect for what have you taken away from Jason Tatum's first 2 games in the NBA Finals? And Broussard basically said he's not letting his shots ruin him. A lot of times, if you're a primary scorer, which Jason Tatum is, and if you're not scoring the basketball, usually that affects your game. Usually that affects your mental well-being. Usually that affects the rest of your team in a negative way. And Tatum has somehow still allowed for his shooting woes to not affect his team or his individual play in many ways. He's still doing everything at a very high level. The shots just aren't falling. He's getting good shots. His team's rebounding for him on those shots. But more importantly, he's getting the right he's making the right passes. He's making the right plays. He's being the presence on defense that I want him to be. And offensively, it takes 3 guys to guard him. So everybody else is going to be open. Tatum's playmaking has been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. We're going to switch topics right now. Shout out Tyler Ryan in the chat for allowing us to switch these topics right now. I got to ask about free agency, Jack. Where do you think Paul George is going? That is a great question. Where do I think Paul George is going? Well, I feel like if I want to channel my inner, all right, pretend I'm a Sixers guy right now. What would the Sixers want? I think the Sixers, they definitely need a Paul George. Now, the Sixers just have to ask themselves, do we want to go for Paul George? Do we want to try and get Jimmy Butler back? Do we want to make a trade for Kevin Durant? Do we want to try and go for LeBron? I think those are the 4 guys on their mind, as everybody else's 4 guys on them. Like, everybody else is like, all right, it's either Paul George, KD, Giannis, LeBron, or Jimmy Butler, or Karl Anthony Towns. Those are kind of the 6 guys in free agency / available to be traded. But if I'm the Sixers, your best bet is Paul George. Your best chance is Paul George. People don't realize how difficult it is to make these type of moves in the NBA. Like, the rumors are one thing. We hear so many rumors in the NBA because the NBA media is amongst the biggest. And they just we love to stir the shit up. We love to stir the pot and create different narratives before the narrative has been truly created. Or we create the narrative and then something else happens. I think in this situation, Paul George could be best going to Philadelphia. But I will say that doesn't necessarily make them a better team than the Boston Celtics. I think if Philadelphia, you know how Philly can beat Boston? They go get Jimmy Butler. If I'm the Philadelphia 76ers, I do everything in my power to get Butler back in Philly. Why? So you don't have to worry about Miami and you can beat Boston. I mean, I just answered it for you, Philadelphia. Listen to me. Sometimes, why am I not the GM of every NBA team? Do you see this even getting close to Game 7? I could see a world where Dallas wins Game 3. They tie it back up, and we have a series. There's a world, but I just believe that, watching the first 2 games, as a Celtics guy, you got to ask yourself, we're not even shooting the ball well, and we're up 2-0. We're not even shooting the ball to our highest. We're not playing our best basketball. And we're up 2-0, and we kind of just made Dallas look like a JV squad. So what does that mean? To me, I'm just like, all right, that's a positive. We're not playing our best basketball, and we're up 2-0. And now we have a chance in Game 3 to actually shoot the ball well, and we can basically say, all right, this shit's over now. We go up 3-0, we're sweeping. We are sweeping. Or they can win game 4, but we close it out in Boston. I'm just getting chills right now. We're so close. We're literally 2 games away. Adam. Jack, do you think Jason Tatum will be a Celtic till he retires? I sure hope so. I sure hope so. I don't even want to imagine Jason Tatum on another team because people will just never truly realize the greatness of Jason Tatum, the potential of Jason Tatum, the person of Jason Tatum, the legend of Jason Tatum. I don't know though. Yeah, you're right, Tyler. I feel like even with Jimmy, they're not better than Boston. I agree. Philly doesn't beat Boston if they get Jimmy Butler necessarily, but it just gives them a very good chance. It gives them the best chance. Like I just kind of whenever I make these opinions, I try and put on the lens of that franchise because whenever I'm talking about the Celtics versus any other analyst, I feel like I know more than any other analyst in terms of just being a part of the culture, being a part of the fan base. All right, now put on your Philadelphia goggles and be a part of the Sixers fan base. How would you feel if you got Paul George or if you got Jimmy Butler? Well, if we got Paul George, what has he proven? He can't win shit. What has Jimmy Butler proven? He can beat the Celtics single-handedly. Everyone calls Tatum's dad Jimmy Butler. So I wouldn't necessarily be like, all right, Boston not going to win it, but it definitely would cause for a matchup to be concerned about and to say, all right, this is going to be a good series. Like every time I think about Milwaukee this year, I was like, we could beat them, but it'll be a good series. They couldn't get healthy, and then we cruised to the finals. Mm-mm-mm. Did y'all hear? Actually, you definitely heard. But this idea Caitlin Clark was left off Team USA's women's Olympic roster. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. I said this yesterday to my boy. I was like, so apparently the men's team, they have, it's a 12-team roster, whatever the case may be. But apparently the 12th spot was Kawhi, right? They announced it late. They said Kawhi Leonard's going to be the 12th spot on the roster. And then you got to ask yourself, well, is Kawhi going to even play? Is Kawhi going to even be healthy? Why have Kawhi Leonard on the team when he's this old head that can't even stay healthy for his own NBA regular season? Okay, so Kawhi's gone. Who's the 12th man? Caitlin Clark. I mean, I don't know what the rules are, but you're telling me the men's team can't do the greatest thing in the history of life? You're telling me, bro, the Team USA men's Olympic team has the opportunity to do the craziest thing in the history of sports. If I am Team USA, if I run that squad, if I am the committee, if I decide who is on the Team USA Olympic roster for the 2024 Olympics, Kawhi Leonard, you're done. I'll give a call to James. I'll give a call to Jaylen Brown. I'll say, Jaylen, I'm sorry we left you off. I'm sorry we left you off in the first place. That was wrong of us. Would you like to be on the team? Jaylen Brown respectfully decline that shit because if they don't want you first, they don't want you ever, and we don't want y'all. Decline. All right. Who does Team USA call next? Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, I know the women don't want you. You come play for the men. In many ways, sports would be solved in that moment. In many ways, all problems of life would be solved in that moment. That would be the breaking of the barrier. I mean, am I wrong? Feel free to speak up here. The chat's a little quiet right now. The second I started talking about Caitlin Clark being on Team USA's men's Olympic roster. Nobody has any opinions on that? Fine. Jason Tatum's winning finals MVP. Anyways, before we talk game 3 and exactly some best bets for game 3, let's quickly hop on SoBet. Let's check out SoBet.io. Let's see if there are any picks, plays, predictions that we can check out on here. SoBet, she would probably get suspended by the W. Why would she get suspended? Let's see here. Share screen. All right, fellas. SoBet is the proud sponsor of this show. If y'all want to hop on SoBet, please go sign up using code JACKPOT, JACKPOT. Sorry. What up, bro? With the winning day, 4-2-1, up 6.6 units. He cashed the Why Not Us parlay. Look at that. That's beautiful right there. Y'all are missing out on some of the greatest sports betting handicappers in the world on SoBet.io. So if you're tired of losing money sports betting, just go sign up for SoBet. They're going to make you cash. Look at this. Parlay 3-teamer. Bang. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Pick 'em Petey with a 3-0 day. Have yourself a day. Tuesday plays. All right, Parlay Poppy coming out with a two play Tuesday card. Fellas, if you want to bet on some MLB today, take the Nationals money line, put 2 units on it, and then take the Guardians money line and put 2 units on that. They got some reasoning in the chat. They got some reasoning in the description. But look at this on SoBet. 4-0. Are you kidding me? I keep scrolling and everyone's winning. Nobody's losing. What is going on? Let's see. We have been hot and we keep it going on Tuesday. All right, Lloyd, what do you got today? You got White Sox, Mariners, first 5 under 4.5. Interesting. Phillies, first 5 -0.5. I love it. I absolutely love it. We got Orioles, 2-1 day. Bang, 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 bang. That's what Mike Green gonna sound like tomorrow when Tatum's shooting it. Yankees money line cashes again. But anyways, fellas, that is how you get everything in life. It sets you up for success in many ways. So go sign up for SoBet using code Jackpot to support the show. Appreciate anybody and everybody that signs up for SoBet using the code. Jack, who do you think Celtics should aim for in free agency? Nobody. Keep the squad together. Keep D. White. Keep Drew. Make sure Jason Tatum is happy. Jaylen Brown's got his $300 million in the bank. Kristaps, get healthy and run it back. It's a beautiful thing to say that. I feel like we're 2 wins away from reaching the ultimate goal. But once we reach that ultimate goal, the eyes go on to a bigger picture. We get right into, all right, let's get 2. You know what I'm saying? Let's get another one. But until then, job's not finished. Job finished? Job's not finished. Do y'all think Jaylen Brown's the best player on the Celtics? Because I sure don't. I think he's a hell of a player. I think he's our leader. But I truly believe Jaylen Brown's our leader and Jason Tatum's our best player. And there's nothing wrong with that. But to go deeper into this Brown and Tatum debate that everybody's having, do y'all realize that the media is just doing Shaq and Kobe all over again? Like, what is it? What is it with y'all? Why is the media this way? Why are y'all the way that you are? Like, when I look back at the history of basketball, I'm not a historian, but from my information that I've gathered, the media basically made Shaq and Kobe break up. Maybe not the full reason. I haven't done my full research on it. But this idea that Shaq and Kobe won 3 titles, and then everybody's saying, well, Kobe didn't win one without Shaq. Kobe can't win without Shaq. Blah, blah, blah. Kobe not the best player on the team. And then he wins 2 more without Shaq. Steph can't win a finals MVP. Blah, blah, blah. Andre Iguodala wins it from him because he's guarding LeBron. Then KD joins the Warriors. Steph can't win without KD. Blah, 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 blah. KD leaves. Steph gets hurt. Clay gets hurt. Draymond getting old, getting suspended. Bang. They win another title. Why? Steph Curry wins it. Steph Curry finals MVP. Steph Curry, Steph Curry, Steph Curry. It always comes full circle. It always comes back to you. And also, it's not just about the superstars got to have the MVP type series. The superstars got to be, it's going to be the coming out party for Jason Tatum. A lot of the times, the media storylines of these flashy, fantastic superstars don't actually win titles. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I mean, where has Giannis been in the past couple of years? Sure, he won a title. That was post-COVID year. Say what you want. Kevin Durant's foot on the line, they would have lost. I just don't understand the obsession with the media's idea of trying to create a divide between Tatum and Brown. Why do you hate on greatness? Why does the media say it's either Tatum or it's Brown, but one of them's got to be the best player on the team? Why can't the media just analyze the Celtics as, holy shit, they have Tatum and Brown, the 2 best young stars in the NBA? It's crazy to me. The media doesn't want to see the Celtics win. We all know that. They don't want to see the Celtics be happy. And so, therefore, when the Celtics are at the mountaintop, when the Celtics are up 2-0 in the NBA Finals, when the Celtics have literally lost 2 games, all playoffs that they shouldn't have lost, they should have actually won every single game in this playoffs. But, you can't win every single game. So here we sit, 2 games away from winning the NBA Finals, and everyone's talking about who's our best player. The media hates us. They don't want to see us be happy. Is this what we get for being the best organization in the history of life? I feel like I did this my whole childhood with the Patriots. I feel like every year when we would win a Super Bowl, it would be the most sweet, satisfying thing, but the media would try and rob it from us. The media would try and discredit the Super Bowl. The media would try and say, sure, Brady won the Super Bowl, but it was the team, but it was the defense, but it was Belichick. Why can't we just all be happy? Why can't we just say, hey, Tatum, you've been the superstar on this squad. You're not shooting the ball great, but my goodness, are you doing everything else better? And you're not letting your shooting struggles affect the team and the result of these games. As a matter of fact, you are affecting the game in a positive way at all times, even when you're not shooting well. Not many superstars can say that. When Luka's not shooting well, does he affect the game positively? No. Shout out. Appreciate you, Jordan. Sign up for SoBet. You're right about Kobe and Shaq, but people didn't have a voice back then. Yeah. Well, yes and no. Like, I just talked to My buddy Rob J, who I do a podcast with, he loves Kobe Bryant. Like, he's the biggest Kobe guy. And so his perspective on it was the media just created the narrative of it's either Shaq or it's Kobe, but one of them has to be the best player on the team. No, they're on the same team. They can both be great. They can both be dominant. Like, nobody was ever saying Rob Gronkowski is the best player on the Celtics. Not Celtics. Patriots. Rob Gronkowski is the best player on the Patriots. Or Randy Moss is the best player on the Patriots. No. The Patriots had Randy Moss with the greatest quarterback of all time. The Patriots had Randy Moss with Tom Brady. The Patriots had Gronk with Tom Brady. It's a duo. In the NBA, it's all about who's the superstar, who's the star, who's this guy, who's that guy. We're up 2-0. We're the best team all year. Everyone tried to make excuses about how we got through the Eastern Conference and it's too easy. And any Western Conference team is going to sweep us, is going to beat us, is going to dominate us. This looks like a varsity versus JV matchup in the NBA Finals. And that has nothing to do with how bad Dallas is. Dallas is a great team. There's a reason why they got to the NBA Finals. People have been ignoring the greatness of this Boston Celtics team. And all year long, I've been calling this team a super team. But not because they got Kristaps or Drew. Well, maybe that has something to do with it. But the super team stems from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And so with that being said, I see a chat right here. This is exactly where I'm going. Right now in this moment, we don't have all of the rings. We don't have any. We need to win rings. We need to stack up. We need to get one, and then we need to go for the next, and then the next, and then the next. But if I had to predict the future in the next 5 years of the NBA, I believe that the Boston Celtics will win 4 of 5 championships. Maybe not next year. See what LeBron does. If he goes to Golden State, if LeBron goes to Golden State and pairs with Steph Curry next year, that team wins the title. If that doesn't happen, if Golden State doesn't make the moves I expect them to make this year, then Boston wins it again. But this idea that we're forming a dynasty, yes, this is the start. This is the start of a dynasty. And when you look back at all these dynasties, nobody ever says that the first year they won it was their best year. This is the very beginning of this Celtics team. People try and make it, this is now or never for Jason Tatum. Now or never for Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. If they don't win it all, they will never get over the hump. This is their year. And if it ain't this year, then they're done. And you got to break up the Jays. He's 26. The NBA media is fearful that Boston figured it out. They got it right. And there's no stopping them. Can I just explain this? So no dynasty for Boston. Your salary is unhealthy. You know what's healthy, though? Drafting the greatest duo in NBA history in back-to-back drafts to set you up for life. I understand that Derek White has played such a fascinating and beautiful role for the Boston Celtics in his time in Boston. I understand that Drew Holiday has come in here and been the replacement for Marcus Smart and just exceeded all expectations. I understand that Kristaps Porzingis was the trade that made us become here. But it all started with Tatum and Brown. And it all goes through Tatum and Brown. For the next 5 years, just call it five. I normally say 10. I'll say 10. For the next 7 to 10 years, the Celtics will be led by the greatest duo in NBA history. They know how to surround that team. They know how to surround that duo with greatness. Hence this year, I have no worries about, oh, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Chris Stapps, they're not going to be there forever. Who knows? I mean, they kept Draymond, Clay, and Steph together for as long as they did. Maybe not going to keep all of them forever. But this idea that we're not, the salary cap isn't favoring us or it's going to ruin our chances of being a dynasty. We have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown for the next 10 years. I think we're going to be okay. As long as we have Tatum and Brown, it don't matter who we have. We will be in the hunt. And then as a Celtics guy, I have full faith that our franchise and our front office knows exactly how to win and do it the right way. If there's any person, if there's any front office in the NBA that I would trust to figure this out, oh, we're dealing with a very big problem. We got too many good players. Brad Stevens has it covered. Couldn't agree more. And they've been doing it ever since both of them got to Boston because the media doesn't understand what Tatum and Brown do. The media doesn't understand that ultimately they're two different players. It's a two-headed monster. One coming at you, then the next. JT can't handle double team. I would say that he can because he makes the right pass. And even if he gets double teams, there's times where he just goes up there and dunks it on him. But I think he's been very good at not forcing it. I was watching the game with my buddies, game 2, and it was very evident and obvious that although Tatum wasn't shooting the ball well, his ability to not force shots that normally he would force, or his ability to say, you know what, I'm not going to take this step back three. I'm going to go to the hoop. If you miss a layup, you miss a layup. It's a contested layup. Yippee. He'll make them. He'll make them next time. But I'm seeing the way Tatum's playing, and I watch every single Celtics game. Nobody else does. Nobody else says they can. Nobody else can say they've watched all 48 minutes of every single Celtics game and analyzed it to a T. I know exactly what I'm witnessing right now in this moment. Jason Tatum is not shooting the ball well, and there is nothing wrong with that because we're up 2-0, and he's doing everything else right. If Tatum wasn't shooting well and he wasn't passing well either, and he wasn't helping his team, if he was being ineffective, there are moments when I'm like, Tatum looks like he's out to lunch. If he was that all the time and wasn't making up for it, then sure. But this is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. This is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's world, and we are just living in it. So cheers to that. If y'all are watching this right now on YouTube, click the like button. Would really appreciate it. It just helps, in the grand scheme of things. Subscribe to the SoBet app too. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Click the like. Show some love. Do y'all want to watch we're at the 45-minute mark. I'm down to watch one YouTube video or something to wrap this thing up. If anybody has any recommendations of interviews or other analysts that they want to watch, I'd be down to watch a little 5-10 minute clip and react to it or something like that. Otherwise, we'll get out of here soon. Adam in the chat saying, who will win finals MVP? So if what I believe happens is Tatum goes for 40 in game 3, then he'll win finals MVP. If Tatum just never starts scoring, there's definitely a world where JB wins it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just deep down in my heart, I know that Jason Tatum is the most valuable player on the Celtics, and he's had a decent playoffs, not his greatest playoffs, but he's just, I mean, they're up 2-0, man. He's been the best player on this team for the past 3 years. And it's just crazy. Like, if any other superstar was getting like carried in a finals at a certain point, and he's not even getting carried, but if another player rose above a superstar in a given moment, the media would take it as that person is rising. But they wouldn't always try and, you know, they wouldn't take down Jokic. They wouldn't take down Luka or Giannis if Chris Middleton or Jamal Murray was going crazy. They would just say how underrated and underappreciated Jamal Murray is. Why can't we do that with Brown and still say, hey, Tatum's playing well? Like, he's not playing amazing, but y'all are making him feel like he is the worst player in the history. I heard that somebody was comparing Jason Tatum to Tobias Harris. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Y'all are hating. If he wasn't passing the ball well, then why the hell he on the court still? He is the superstar on the team, bruh. Why is he on the court? Y'all don't understand his impact, bro. You don't understand his presence. Nobody understands Jason Tatum, and that's okay. I do. And when he wins 6 championships with the Boston Celtics, wait, so if we win, we get 18. We're at 17, right? He's got to win 7. Because I think when it's all said and done, and there's 24 championship banners for the Boston Celtics, and Tatum gets to do his little Kobe tribute, 7 rings would be crazy. You pass MJ too. Appreciate you, Jordan, for understanding Tatum. It's not always about him making shots. It's about his presence and his greatness and his aura. What do we do if Horford retires as far as free agency or trade? Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely got to find a bigger piece, not a bigger piece, a big to bring in to say, all right, this is what Al Horford's been doing for the past 10 years. Do that. And you can't. You're not going to be able to replicate what Horford does. But I think Al's definitely going to retire. He'll go out on top with a ring. And I hope that he can stay around the organization and be a voice, because there's something about Al Horford that I'll never forget. And I hope if we win it all this year, he'll be remembered forever. That 86 Celtics team, every player on that team is remembered. Every player is special. You know, so the 08 team, same thing, except for Kendrick Perkins. So when we win it all this year, everybody on this team, including Luke Cornett, made an impact. Was a reason why we got it done. It ain't just one person. I'll be the first person to say this has been a team effort. And it started with Joe Mazzulla in many ways. Like, y'all got to understand, like, Joe Mazzulla came into this year, everybody questioned him. Everybody said, well, the Celtics gave him another chance. He was thrown into the fire, wasn't expecting to be a head coach, became the head coach of the best team in the league. Had to deal with how to basically gain the respect of the locker room and control these dudes. And now it looks like he's, mathematically finding his way around the game. Joe Mazzulla has to be the smartest coach in basketball right now. You just got to give him flowers. Tatum still has time to prove himself. He's the next GOAT. I trust that. Yeah, 100%. Great take. JT is our leader and superstar. It wasn't even up for debate until they gave Brown that recognition trophy because Tatum had better numbers in every category. Media seen blood in the water with that. Yeah, the media is literally just trying to make the most of this situation, which is Tatum's not shooting the ball well. Yeah, they did it with Steph. When Steph, I like to relate Jason Tatum and Steph Curry's careers a lot because I feel like when Steph got in uh, to his first NBA champion, when Steph played in his first finals, he had just won MVP and he had all this hype around him, but it was like still LeBron's league. So there were a lot of people that were like very protective of it being LeBron's league still. So nobody wanted to give Steph that finals MVP. So that's why the media award is the stupidest award ever. But the media award drove them to give it to Andre Iguodala instead of Steph. That following year, they tore him down. They tore Steph down. He had a bad finals. He didn't shoot the ball well, and he lost. So I just think the media is always trying to find ways to overemphasize. That's fine, but just shoot the shit straight. That's normally how you gain the respect of elders. I agree 100%. Maybe one of our bench guys fill that Horford spot when he's done. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's a bench guy. Maybe it's like a Jordan Walsh type of player. Maybe we draft a center. Whatever the case may be. What I meant was that JT should be doing other stuff because you're shooting bricks and passing and rebounding are the only things he can do. So we shouldn't be giving him credit for that. He should be doing other stuff. He's doing everything else. I'm not, no, I'm not focusing on that. I know who Jason Tatum is. I know what he's doing for this team. And that's really all that matters. If I believe it in my heart that he's the best player on this team and that he has been the valuable weapon that we've needed him to be, that's all that matters, man. But anyways, I appreciate everybody for tuning in today. It was a wonderful episode of the Morning Jackpot presented by SoBet. Make sure you go sign up for SoBet. Let's go check out SoBet one more time. Let's see if there are any other locks or quick leads here for Tuesday's best bets. Make sure you make sure you leave a like on the YouTube and just show some love, show some vibes. Damn. It looks like there are no updates. But yeah, I mean, SoBet.io is the place to be, man. If you want to get in on all the action. What up, bro? If you can just see this right here, he put out a bunch of plays yesterday and he won 6 units. So if you put $100 on every play that he put out, you'd be up about $600 just from last night. So you're missing out on SoBet, SoBet.io. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Jordan, before we get out of here, what's your prediction for game 3? I want to say Tatum goes for 40 and the Celtics win. But I do believe that if there's a game that Dallas needs to win, it's this one. So I would say Dallas probably wins, but watch out for Jason Tatum. Let me put it this way. If Tatum goes for 40, the Celtics win. If Tatum continues to shoot poorly, the Celtics don't win. It's as simple as that in game 3. Broke it down for y'all. Do you believe in Tatum or do you not believe in Tatum? I believe. Shout out Ethan for backing up the Tatum haters in the chat. I mean, personally, bro, I would love to see the Celtics win it in game 5. So really all we have to do is win one in Dallas. But at the same time, you just got to focus on get 2 more and however many games it takes. That's all that matters, man. If I had to put my money where my mouth was at, I would say Celtics in 5 and Tatum wins Finals MVP. This is the final chat of the episode. Always, bro, Tatum 40 piece in game 3 or game 4. It's going to happen. Jason Tatum will go for 40 points on the road. I promise. Appreciate everybody for tuning in today to the Morning Jackpot presented by SoBet. We will see y'all tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time to talk about game 3 and analyze specifically what's about to go down in game 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Morning Jackpot. If you did, please leave a like on the YouTube and subscribe. Show some love. Make sure you go follow me. And just appreciate greatness. That's all I can truly ask for. Just appreciate the greatness of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in this current moment and the rest of the Boston Celtic roster. That's going to do it.